Scoot over this way. Pretend like you like me.
Focus.
You're rude today. Wahog. Hey guys, welcome to our vlog today. Do I say that a lot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So today we thought we would talk to you about our first impressions of Romania overall. We came at different times. Pablo's first time was
2014.
2014.
No, my first impression was basically landing at the airport. And I just quickly noticed, I think a lot of people would laugh if you've been to, or if you've flown to Romania. Right before the airplane stopped to park, you heard all of the seat belts go off. And all of a sudden you see everybody getting up on the plane and marching all the way to the front of the plane. And to me, the first impression was, am I in Puerto Rico? Because that's exactly what we do in Puerto Rico as well.
They were in a hurry to get off.
A hurry to
Didn't
get
want to
off,
wait
and
until
no
they were
waiting
supposed to.
and no line. It's just kind of like everyone for themselves and go. So I was kind of confused after just staying up for many hours flying and traveling. I was a little bit confused, but in a sense, it also made me feel like I was at home. So it felt like home. That was my first impression of Romania. After leaving the airport, I still was very confused. A lot of the streets and houses still look like Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. So even like the second and third time of arriving back, I always had to like really rethink, okay, where am I?
So I obviously came in 2016 when we moved here. I'd never been to Romania before. I'd never even been to Europe before. When we landed, that was the first time I'd been. I just remember right after we landed, we met our friends. They drove us straight to IKEA to get some of the supplies that we needed. And I remember just kind of being overwhelmed. I had to make a bunch of decisions. So after traveling super long, having to make a bunch of decisions, like what kind of comforter or duvet covers do you want? What kind of towels, rugs, washcloth? Like I had to get everything for our apartment basically at that time. So it was a little overwhelming, but I remember going to the bathroom at IKEA and it was just so different. The toilets are so different and the stalls. In America, they have like a huge gap between the door. Like you can look in at somebody going to the bathroom if you're in the stalls, because there's a big gap where you lock the door. And so I noticed here there was absolutely no gap, and the floor went very, very far down to the bottom. You know, in America, like
I don't even remember.
At the bottom, it's like this much that you can look under at, and here there's maybe like that much. I was like, wow, this makes so much more sense. This is so nice.
That was your first impression?
That was one of my first impressions, was the toilets, you know, in the bathrooms. I was like, different, cool.
Interesting.
Yep. And then I remember we traveled from Bucharest to Brașov, and the mountains, you know, it was beautiful, and I was happy because I grew up in Montana. I like the mountains, so I was happy with that. And I do remember once we stopped at a gas station on our way up to Brașov, and you got me a Diet Dr. Pepper. That was like my favorite soda back in the States, and I couldn't believe it. I was so shocked that they had it here, and they still rarely have it.
Yeah, they're hard to find now.
So I kind of felt at home. I was like, oh, I can still get this here. But I was tricked. You really can't get it here too often. Ocean sometimes has it. Ocean.
Ocean.
Let's see what else. I remember when we first went to the grocery store, I remember being shocked at how much salami there was. It was like a whole row of salami. In the States, you get maybe one or two kinds at the deli. That's about it.
There's a few options in the States.
Yeah, a few. There's not an entire aisle dedicated to salami.
No.
And that was overwhelming. It's like, I just want salami. Like, what kind do I need? So now we've kind of picked our favorite after all these years. Salami. That's our favorite. Do you like salami?
Yeah.
Yes. I remember too, some really sweet people from our church let us stay at their house for like the first 10 days while they were getting this apartment ready. and Pablo had a lot of stuff to do as far as getting us a car. So he was out and about doing stuff, and me and Carolina were staying there all the time, and he just kept bringing us food of bread, salami, and cheese. That's all I ate for like the first week in Romania was bread, salami, and
It was
cheese.
the easiest thing to choose.
He would just grab it and be like, here you go, you guys have lunch. I'll be back, in a few hours. And we're like, okay, bread, salami, and cheese again.
It was good.
It was good, but not every single meal. And we visited Bran like on our third day here. We got the chimney cakes, what are they called?
Curtos.
Curtos. I do remember that first year we arrived at the end of October, and it was snowing already at that time. And that winter we got so much snow.
Yeah,
I got a false impression of what winters were like. So I was expecting that each winter, and I was sorely disappointed. Some years we barely even gotten any snow.
Last 2 years.
Yeah, it's been like super disappointing. So that first year gave me a false impression, definitely. And two, I know I've talked about this in other videos, and I know people have commented, but again, it's a cultural difference. You can expect those. I thought people were a little unfriendly because of the whole smiling thing. Again, I grew up from Montana in the Northwest, and you smile at strangers. You smile at everybody who, is driving down your street. If you're driving, you smile and wave, whether you know them or not.
I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
And I know here people think that's weird.
I actually love it.
You love
I
what
hate
here?
smiling at people that I don't know.
You just hate smiling in general.
I just hate smiling in general, and so it's like I'm very friendly, but I don't need to smile to you if I don't know you. I like that.
Yeah, again, it's a different thing, and it was just weird. That was my first impression was, oh, people are kind of unfriendly. And I've had my parents visit too, and that was one of their comments. Oh, people are kind of unfriendly. And I said, no, they're not unfriendly. Why do they need to smile at you? They don't know you. So again, a cultural difference. There's no right or wrong. It's just different. But no, my parents have visited a couple times, and they love it.
Yeah,
they do love it.
The first impression also was the Coke here.
Oh, yes.
Coca-Cola is definitely the best I've ever had anywhere that I've traveled to. I don't think I would ever trade Romanian Coca-Cola with anything else. You could give me 1,000 euros, you could give me however much.
1,000 euros, really?
I would not drink anything else, any other Coca-Cola except for Romanian Coca-Cola. Some of the corner stores here even bring some Cokes from like Ukraine or surrounding countries, and I can tell right away. Not just by the light. I get so mad.
He gets mad. He's like, ah!
Sometimes I don't even look at the label. I just know it's Coca-Cola, and when I drink it at home, I'm like, this is not Romanian Coca-Cola. Another first impression that I had was the most cars here are diesel. Even to this day, I still have to like really think hard. Am I putting diesel or am I putting regular gas into the car?
Another first impression was I was excited when I would see something on a menu like that said Mexican or something. I'm like, ooh, yay, Mexican food. And then I realized all it really is they just put corn on it and call it Mexican.
Yep. Portions of food. I always remember hearing how Americans eat a lot. And it's true. We eat a lot. But when you order food, and yes, it's a bit cheaper than in America, you literally get the whole plate full of food. So my first impression was like, oh, Americans and Romanians, we're just BFFs because we love food.
They do. I mean, like, they give you way too much food at a lot of restaurants here. Mm-hmm. Again, they do in the States as well, but I was expecting that to be different. Another first impression was seeing all the kids, like some young kids take the bus by themselves. They're out riding their bikes around the streets by themselves without their parents, and we're just like, what?
I love it.
It is. That's very nice. That is awesome that they can still do that. You really can't. I mean, there's stories in the States of a lady let her kid walk 2 blocks to the park.
One block.
He's 10 years old and she got arrested.
2 kids got taken away.
Okay, it was a different story then, dude.
No,
Every time I say something, he's like, no, it's this.
It's the same story.
No, it's this.
No, it's the same story. I know what you're talking about. So culturally, we love.
Yes, that's nice. It's wonderful.
Romania. Yeah, actually, that's one thing that I noticed. It wasn't a first impression, but more of like a quick impression after traveling in outside of Romania and Eastern Europe. How much Romanians know English? Mm-hmm. Going to Hungary, going to like Slovakia, Poland, nobody knows English or comfortable enough to speak it. And I just remember coming back, it just felt like I feel like I'm back at home. Because even though the language is dominantly Romanian, obviously, there's a higher chance for you to be able to run into somebody that you can still communicate with when you're stuck with not being able to speak Romanian very well.
Yeah.
So first impressions later on was how well versed Romanians are in English. That's a plus.
Hey Mila, come here. What was your first impression of Romania?
I'm my bed.
What?
My bed on the house.
Your bed in the new house? Oh, okay. I think your first impression was probably it was very bright and loud, right?
Loud because of her.
She was born in Romania.
Go.
She's actually never been outside of Romania.
Yes, she was. At the embassy.
She says this every single time. We went to the embassy to get her passport, American passport.
It's American soil.
She's never been outside of the borders of Romania.
It's American soil. She's been to America.
But yeah, she was born in Romania. If you haven't watched that video yet, check it out about her birth story. A little crazy.
Mila, do you like Brașov or Bucharest better?
Buffalo.
Yeah. Anyway, long story short, they gave me the wrong baby. So you'll want to check that video out. It was a little crazy.
Paper.
I just asked Carolina to come in to give us her first impressions.
And this is
what
our
we were
first
greeted
impression
with.
of her.
She apparently did her own makeup.
Stop, stop.
Oh my goodness, it looks worse when you actually look at it.
Yeah. Okay, well.
I accidentally got some right here.
Oh,
I think you got some
all over.
accidentally got it everywhere, child. Anyway, Carolina was only 3 when we moved. Like literally had just turned 3. So you might not remember much, but do you have any first impressions of Romania that you actually do remember?
I was excited to see a little baby friend.
Our friends had had a baby and she was very excited to see the baby. Here's a picture of them when we first got here. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching about our first impressions of Romania. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Paper with a signature, and a stamp. I'm not hitting you. Quit.
You threw a fit like a 2-year-old.
I have a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
I live with 3-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
I just said that.
Yeah, and I'm just commenting on it. Can't I piggyback?
What?